It'll be good if we can have some videos turned on so that we can get a feel of who are all here and just to make it a little more interactive. Can we have some videos turned on? Sanidhya, Meghla, Sat, Radhi, Ayushman, Kajal, Ashley, Nagaratna, Vijay Bhartiya, Nishtha Mehrotra. It'll be good to have the videos turned on as at least when we start the session so that there is some amount of interactions happening. Hi Rohan, good evening. We've also got our
Hey, good evening, everyone.
good evening. Hi Rishta, good to see you. All right. Namaste Parth, Amit, Karthik, Roy Thomas, good evening. Tanya Pal, Akash Rathod, Yash Jadhav. Oh, Ajay, mathematics class. So I believe you are a maths teacher. So good evening, Ajay. Madhumati, Vijay, Divyanshu Thakur. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you all here. I think yes, Ajay, thank you. Good to know that. It'll be good if we can have we can see you in your video. Right. So, as we had told at the beginning of the last session, it was very important. It was an important criteria thing that once you start innovating, you have someone who you can, anchor upon, how someone who you can, seek guidance. There was. I'll give you. I'll start with a small example. All of you have heard of NIIT. Can I have a raise of hands? How many of you know of NIIT? NIIT Technologies. All right. So I think many of you know. So what NIIT, when NIIT started out, they started out in Delhi. And when they started out, their first office, when the internet and the computers, was brought in and it had come in a big way in India. Just behind NIIT's office, there was a small slum, and there was people, students or children who were not going to school. But what he did is there was a person there from an IIT Sugata. He went to the slum. He just got a new, sort of shelf there where he placed a computer, just the mouse, and 24 bar 7 internet running. One fine morning, he just landed up there, kept this piece of computer and the internet, and the mouse and the keyboard, and just went off. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, he finds there are five students who are sitting in the front or in the front, just in front of the computer, and there are few others behind them, and the ones in the front are telling them, okay, this is how you go browse, this is how you press this button, this is the mouse that is there. So, what does it mean? It means that, you don't need to really teach, so to say, everyone in today's day and age. Everyone needs to, be given an environment, be given the guidance, be given the necessary resources, and directed very well. The path be given very well so that the ideas and the intellect and the capability of the students or the seekers of knowledge come about in a very effective manner. So I think somewhat similar is what a role of a mentor here. A mentor is a person who will be able to identify what the capabilities and the strengths and weaknesses of the student is or the seeker is, and be able to guide him and understanding what the final outcome is and what is a macro view. But I would not want to take much of your time. The session for today is exactly to tell you the role of a mentor, what he does, and how in this specific case, when we are having this IDS for campaign or contest, we are coming out where we are asking you to come up with solutions for the opportunities, the challenges that we are posed with. We have Rohan Shah. and he is also a co-chair of the YI Ahmedabad chapter, who has helped us to, who has agreed to help us with hosting the session. For those who don't know, Rohan is been involved in the IDS contest for the last 3 years when YI launched it, and also he ran it for 3 years. So Rohan knows in and out of what happens in IDS in every stage. He knows every the dualities involved in the process. So he also runs a business. He's founder and CEO of a company called Headweek Innovation. He also got a plenty of other activities other than this. So I'm not taking too much of your time. Uh, Please welcome Rohan. Rohan, welcome. Thank you for sharing your time for this, and over to you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Shibat, and good evening, everyone. It's so good to have you all of you here. I see more than 200 participants, so super excited about your journey in IDS 4. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is before we'll go through the nuances and every detail of the mentorship, but primarily I'm going to talk about innovation, what really innovation means, and where as a mentor, where we should be focusing on when we deal with the team. So just before I get started, how many of you are mentor here? Or because I understand that there are a few participants as well, or is everybody a mentor, or is there participants as well? Okay. All right. So let me share my screen and let me get quickly started. Sorry, it's been crazy days for me. So I have a bad cold and cough and everything. So my voice is a little bit crazy, but I'll go through that. Okay. All right. So now we'll talk about how do you, so one of the role as a mentor, and let's say we focus on the phase wise. Let's say phase one, where your role comes into, phase two, what your role will be, and phase three, what your role will be, right? So first, before we get into those details of the role as a mentor, let's talk about what really innovation means and where things can go. So before we get into it, can I ask everyone just to take a 30 seconds, and if you have a pen and a paper with you, can I ask you to draw an alien, please? Is there a possibility? Can I make it interactive as a mentor? Can I expect you that you will spend 30 seconds to draw an alien? And if possible, would you be open to share your alien? Just run on the camera and just do it like this. I want to see what alien you draw. Can we do that quickly? Yeah. Let me stop sharing so I can see everyone. It will be more fun if it's interactive because, see, as a mentor, you expect people to ask you a lot of questions. As a mentor, you also expect that your team come to you and interact with you. So let's walk the talk. If you, yeah. All right. Thank you, Saga. Can you show what what your alien look like? Thank you. There you go. Is you can just first finish it up your drawing and then you can show it to me. No problem. Can I ask everyone, others, please? All right. Thank you, Ajay. Okay. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you very much. Can I ask other people to can yeah, my voice is not audible. I'm pretty loud and clear. If you may want to check your speaker as well, I believe.
Rohan, it's a little feeble. Yeah, you can just come a little.
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. All right. Vivek, Ronak, do you want me to show your okay, I've lowered everyone's hand, so let's do it in a different way. How many? I want you to raise your hand because I want you to raise your hand if you think your alien has a face. Has a face. How many of your alien has a face? All right, there you go. You don't have to. You don't have to share your screen part. It's not necessary. Let me do the sharing part. I understand you are technologically very good. All right. Okay. Okay. How many of your alien has eyes? Has eyes? Everyone. All right. There you go. How many of your alien has nose, mouth? Okay. Okay. Now alien has a face, and it is being placed on like a body, like a torso. There is a torso. It has hands. It has legs. Yeah. Pretty much majority of, if I have to do it, majority of, yes, let's, isn't human and alien also? Yes, let's not go logical right now. Okay, let's make it fun. Let's not, uh, uh, majority of the people have something like this. Yeah, face, body, hands, legs. Now think about this. Now think about this, that none of us, none of us in our life ever seen an alien. None of us even know whether alien exists or not. Yet probably 85% of our aliens are exactly the same. Yeah. This phenomena is called the functional fixedness. All I call it a cognitive fixedness, because we imagine that alien should be whatever we have seen in the movie, whatever we have seen in the storybooks when we were kids, or worst case, we have seen other humans, and we believe that aliens also must be like a human. They also has a face. They also need an eyes to see. They also need a hand. They also need a legs to walk around or move from one place to the other. So for us, majority of us, the object and the function of an object are always together. Okay. If you really want to innovate, the first step of innovate is to break that bias and focus on the objective and not the object. For example, if I want to call about, like, why do I have legs? Because you say, oh, if I want to walk from one place to the other, I of course need a leg. So leg is an object, walking is an objective, right? The moment I break that and I only focus on objective, that all I need to go from one place to the other place, but I don't have legs. What should I do? Right? And that's where your innovative thinking starts coming, because now you have break the cognitive biasness. Okay. What is important is the moment you break this biasness, that's where the innovative thought process gets started. Right. So as a mentor, one of the biggest job, our job is to help our students, to help or help the team to break the cognitive fixedness, to focus on the objective and not what already exists. I'll give you a phenomenal example. One of the biggest example is an Uber. The Uber guy is one of the largest taxi owner in the world, does not own a single taxi. That means in order to become the taxi business, you don't necessarily need to buy a taxi, buy a car. Okay, before that, everybody was in a mindset that if I want to start a taxi business, if I want to start uh, a car business, I need to own a taxi, I need to own a car. The guy said, no, I don't want to. And he broke that biasness, right? And that's where the things started falling apart. Things started thinking in a different way. Other example is an Airbnb or an Oyo. The guy who wants to become an hotelier does not necessarily means that he needs to buy a hotel. The guy, the largest hotelier in the world, does not own a single. That means he broke the biasness that I don't need to have a physical hotel to become a hotelier. Okay, all he focus on is I want to become a largest hotelier, and all he owns is a one single app. Yeah, that is where that innovative thinking comes. So this is called a functional fixedness. every one of us has that certain biases. ये तो ऐसा ही होता है. This is how it is. Okay, we need to break that. Ask question why. Question the basic, that why it is like that, why it has to be like that. The moment you only focus on objectives, so whenever, let's say in the climate action challenge, in the green innovation challenge this year, whatever the challenge you are whatever the challenge you are taking up, whether you are taking water management, whether you're taking waste management, okay, whatever it is, right? First, understand the existing solution and ask question why it is like that, what is the outcome I'm expecting, and then try to break that biasness and think differently. That is because functional fixedness is humans biggest bottleneck, which stops them to innovate. Okay. All right. I have a lot of hands. I have hands raised, but I'll take all the questions one at a time. Okay. I'll make sure that I give you enough time to answer all the questions you may have. Let me first finish so I don't break my rhythm as well. All right. So that is my first functional fixedness. Second is innovation. Innovation, I evaluate innovation in a very simple formula. Okay, every innovation, number one, happens for the people's problem. The moment you solve human problem, that is where the innovation takes place. Okay, innovative solution helps people. So understand the human challenges. Every challenge you, whatever the challenge you take, convert into a human challenge. That what is the human challenge, what is the human problem, or what problem people are facing, and try to bring three things. I always believe that any innovation brings three things to people, and that is successful. So let me rephrase this way. Every successful innovation has three basic parameters. First is convenience. The solution brings convenience to people. The solution brings mobility to people, and solution brings accessibility to people. If your solution has these three things, convenience, mobility, and accessibility, the success is almost certain. Okay, unless and until the execution and other parameters don't hinder us, but the chances of success increases to us very significantly. Okay, I'll give you an example. Again, I'll take an example of an Uber. Does Uber give convenience to us? Yes, it does. Does Uber give mobility to us? Yes, it does. You can order from anywhere, wherever, and does not really matter. All you need a phone, and you just get your travel. Does it give you accessibility? Absolutely. I can go to any place without even okay, I'll just Uber it and I'll go. It gives you an accessibility. Is it successful? Yes, it is. Think about Swiggy or Zomato. Does it give you convenience? Yes, it does. Does it give you mobility? Yes, I can order it from my phone. Does it give you accessibility? Yes, I can access any restaurants in the city, whatever the food I want. Is it successful? Yes, it is. You take an example of a YouTube. Does it give me convenience? Yes, it does. Does it give me mobility? Yes, it does. Does it give me accessibility? Yes, it does. Okay. So, whenever you craft a solution, all right, or whenever you are facilitating a solution to your team, evaluate the solution from, does the solution give convenience to the people? Does the solution give mobility to people? Does the solution give accessibility to people? Sometimes it is possible that may not be all three parameters fulfills, but try to fulfill at least two parameters. Success, chances of success increases significantly. Okay. So these three parameters, now think about this image itself. Earlier, there was a mainframe computer. Then the PC came. PC brought convenience, better mobility, and better accessibility. Okay, it came successful, right? Then laptops came. Laptop was give more convenience, more mobility, and more accessibility. And then the smartphone games, more convenience, more. It was, of course, it was incremental, but these three parameters, and it really disrupted the industry. The previous, the adaptability goes significantly higher. So always think about these three parameters, very important. So whenever, let's, as a mentor, okay, I'm mentoring multiple startups. I invest in multiple startups. I'm probably invested in approximately 15 to 16 startups till date. Every time I evaluate a startup, okay, every time a student come to me and pitch the startup, I never look at revenue. I never look at financial projections. I never look at numbers. First criteria for me to evaluate a startup or a product or an idea is these parameters. Number one, does it bring convenience? Of course, what problem is solved? Fair enough. Does it give convenience? Does it give mobility? Does it give accessibility? If three parameters checks out for me, then I go ahead. Then I evaluate everything. Till then, I do not even look into any of these things. Okay. This is very important when it comes to an innovation. Innovative solution must bring these three parameters. Very important, guys. So whenever your team come up with an idea and you are meant as a mentor, you are evaluating, try to guide them towards that what convenience, how your users are life is getting more convenient, how they are getting better accessibility in the area, or how it brings mobility to people, right? So human, don't forget about that human parameter, okay? I'll give you another perspective of the same as if I talk about the eras, how it has evolved over the period of time. Earlier, it was era of production. Then the whole era of specialization came, right, where the quality was different. Today, sorry, okay, excuse me with that. Today we are living in the era of service, right? Everything is okay, the era of empathy, when and where everything is evaluated by the convenience. People are okay to pay higher price if they are getting convenience, if they are getting mobility, accessibility, and of course the life of significance, okay, if their life gets better. But convenience, mobility, accessibility, very important. And that you can only bring when you really empathized with your target users. When I say empathize, what does it really mean? Empathize is you really understand the problem of people, your user, the target audience that you are targeting. So understand their challenge with you, with the whatever the challenge you are picking, who understand who's the target audience and talk to them. Okay, very important is please do not rely upon the Google research only. Go and talk to people in the physical format. Go and say what, ask people what are the challenge, how do you address it, how what do you feel about this, everything. People will tell you their perspective. The human perspective plays a very important role in order to craft convenience. Okay, and people adapt only where these three parameters are met. Okay, these are the basics of 101s of innovation, guys. Okay, so evaluate from this perspective. Now I just wanted to also give you another perspective, that if you really want to, now when we say innovators, we also call it that we are a futurists, right? Futurists understand what is important. Futurists do not predict, in futurist imagine. Okay, future cannot be predicted, future needs to be imagined. When I say future needs to be imagined, we are not an astrologer that we predict, but we can imagine. The biggest of the innovators, they did not predict. Like Elon, if we think about Elon Musk did not predict that people will go on Mars by 2030. He said, I want to go on a Mars on 2030. He did not say that rocket will come back on the earth one day. He said, I want to make sure that rocket lands back on the earth, right? He imagined the crazy future and then he worked reverse. Innovators imagine. So when you are coming up with the solution, give your crazy imagination a value, that okay, you know what, I am imagining. Okay, give that crazy imagination, it will play an enormous role when you are really innovating something good. Parameter 2, focus on signals. Now this is very important parameters when you do your research during next 2 weeks. Okay, important parameter. What is signal? Signal is world is telling you a lot of things today. Okay, when generative AI came, it was a signal. World is giving you that world is going to be very different in next few years. Okay, when IoT came, it was a signal that world is going to be very different from this. Signal is, or let's forget about the word signal. Think about anything which comes, any technology comes in the world, in the life, right? It always comes in a silo. It always comes somewhere. Somebody innovates that. Somebody thinks that crazy that, you know what, I want to build something like this. He builds with one simple application. But then, and then somebody feels that, you know what, this is phenomenal, I can utilize in a multiple way. Okay, and then it just blasts and the whole world changes with that. Very simple example is when Apple come up with the with an iOS application, right? They had a thought that, you know, why can't we create something called apps where a third person can bring and build something and put it on the phone. Okay, the concept of apps was first conceptualized by Apple iOS. Okay. And imagine today apps is a $4 trillion industry itself. Everybody is creating app. A lot of businesses, by unicorn businesses have built on apps. People were just went crazy with their innovative ideas and the wildest ideas and try to make life beautiful and very convenient for people. Okay, just by creating different ideas of it. App was a signal that world is going to be very different this way there. Okay, I'll give you one more example and you might think, you might look at it. Okay, it's all about imagination. So signal is, how do you understand the signal? Signal is a very specific example of future in a present. It means it's a very small area today. It is there, but when it expands, when it goes viral, when the whole world adapts it, the world is going to be very different. It's one of the example I give you is social media. When the social media started, okay, and imagine how when social media, whole world adapted social media. Imagine your life change. The way the way you experience your life today is very different than way our parents or people experience, let's say 10 years ago. Okay, right? So signal is something that world is telling you that it's going to be very different in some few years in case it got bigger. Okay, I'll give you one more example. A United Nations, this is a story I want to tell you, and I wanted to understand what really signal is, because and as a mentor, what do you need to do, and as a participant, what do you need to do, also I'll guide you. Okay, so I'll give you one story. United Nations, in partnership with MIT, Oceanics, and Explorers Club, this four organization came together a few years back, and they said, "Okay, we need to design a floating city," because they were facing a humongous challenge, especially on the eastern coast of the United States, about the hurricanes, right? So they says we need to build a floating city which can withstand up to Category 5 hurricane. Okay, and they started designing. They had an idea, this crazy idea of creating a floating city in the ocean. Okay, so they create a prototype and they started building this ocean. This is how it looks like. Okay, the whole city was made out of a platform, and each platform is basically a triangular shape, which is anchored on the bottom of the sea using the anchors, right? Each platform is anchored. Each platform can uphold almost 300 people. Okay, six platforms make the whole village, and six villages makes the whole city. So all you see looking at is six cities. That means the entire city has a holding capacity of approximately 10,000 people. The entire city were made out of it has the agriculture. They can produce their own, they can farm. Everything could happen. This is a prototype, this is an idea, and they were supposed to build it. Okay, during the in the time of hurricane, if there is any hurricane, the whole city can be moved and put it and the whole city can travel, and the whole city can be moved from one place to the other. so they can protect the assets, protect people, and protect the city as well, right? This is how the city was, the prototype was made, and it's in making, right? They were supposed to be done a couple of years ago, but due to COVID, they have pushed the deadline, and I think the first prototype is going to be ready. Working prototype is going to be ready by 2025. That's the target. Okay. Now, question is it a signal? Is world is telling you that world the is it telling you that world is going to be very different in next 15 years, 20 years? What happens? Imagine the ocean is 70% of earth, and if humans are capable enough, or human conquers with the city, conquers the 70% of these ocean as well. And imagine it's just one city. Tomorrow there are millions of city in the ocean. Okay, how your world will be, how you will be experiencing, where will you live, who owns this city, right? A number of question comes in. Let's not get there, but this is signal that world might be very different in next few years. But it started from the one thing somebody has built. Okay, majority of the ideas, innovation is sometimes you don't have to invent. I think there is a difference between invention and innovation. Okay, in order to craft an innovative solution, you really need to know what is happening around. Do your research about the signal world is giving you today. There could be some technology you can simply leverage and come up with the solution which is really upscale the livelihood of people. It can really solve the problem that you are trying to solve in a much efficient way, which can bring that convenience, mobility, accessibility factor. Yeah. So if you really want to think about these signals, what kind of changes, forget about it. This is all the same thing. But what is driving this change? What is the future force behind this? Think from that perspective. Think from the perspective, imagine the future, that what world will look like in next 10 years. Okay, it will help you come up with an imaginative solutions. Have your crazy solutions, crazy ideas float in, because craziness is the first step. Imagination is the first step of innovation again. Okay, breaking the bias, the bottleneck, the functional fixedness we talked about, thinking differently. Imagination plays a major role. Go away, come with an imaginative solutions. It's okay. Don't worry about whether your imagination is crazy or imaginations are always crazy. If it's not crazy, it's not imagination. No. Another way of looking at, or another way of looking, coming up with an innovative ideas is to understand the history. Okay, I always tell people that look back to see forward. Okay, because when you look back, when you understand the history, you know where the future is going, because it unveils the pattern. Everything happens for the reason, and everything happens in a right sequence. There is no crazy outcomes. Okay, if you understand the history, you will be able to imagine the future much easier way. Imagine, let me give you an example of the communication, how communication has changed over the period of time. Okay, in 10,000 BC, there was only one way to communicate, was face to face. If I want to talk to Srivats, I have to be in front of him. We have to be face to face, and then only we can talk. Till 550 BC, first time Persians have invented mails. That is the first time, first problem got solved. That is remote communication. 50-50, when mails came into the place, they have solved the problem of remote. Now I can even talk to Srivats remotely. He's in Delhi, I'm sitting in Ahmedabad. I can write a message. Of course, the problem was, once I write something, I send somebody, he goes on a horse or a carriage or whatever it is. It takes couple of months for him to reach all the way to Delhi, or maybe a month. Srivats reads it, writes me back. Again, that guy comes on a horse after a month. What was the problem was that I cannot have a continuous conversation because there was a huge gap in between. But at least first problem got solved. Remote communication was possible. Till 1854, phones invented. where the remote communication on a real time started happening. That I can have a call to Srivats, he's in Delhi, I'm in Ahmedabad, we talk on the phone. But again, there was a limitations because there was only one phone in the whole city, okay, or whole town or whatever it is. So I message in that by Friday I will come on the phone, you come on the phone on this date, and then we go get on this. Till 1910 phones have come to home, and the whole communication, the way the people communicate changed. Phone become very popular. So phone was the first signal the world got that, you know what happens if it becomes popular. But the limitation was I can only talk to Srivats at the same time. Then if I want to talk to, let's say, I want to talk to Madhumita, I have to again call her separately. I want to talk to Kajal, I call her separately. Okay. Till emails came into 1995, where I can now talk to people remotely. I communicate to people remotely in a multiple way at the same time. Multiple people or remotely to multiple people at the very same time. Send one email to 100 people, same message communicated to hundreds of people at the same time. Same message is gone. Let them be remote. Till 2000, texting came and the whole new era of communication started. New language got birth, and new lingo, the text lingo, has taken birth. Okay, Skype invented 2003. International calling has become very easy, affordable, and people have started the international trade, and the way people started doing business changed. 2010, Apple came up with the FaceTime, and that is the first time the face to face looking at each other has become popular. Of course, the video cameras were there and those were there, but till until FaceTime, the video calling was not popular. Now, I can talk to people remotely in a different country across the globe by even looking at it. 2015 emojis came, and people only not started writing but started expressing their emotions. 2019 avatar came, and you can start putting those emojis on your own face, creating your own avatar. 2021 Zoom has replaced classrooms, and look at us right now teaching. And teaching, I'm sitting in Ahmedabad in my office, and you are across India, and we are having a same lecture. Look at way the if you look at this now, if you understand the pattern, it has solved every problem one by one by one by one. Now, if I have to imagine what future of communication will be like in next by 2030, 35, I have more ideas. Okay, now if I think about this, you know what are the signal? Okay, AR, VR is there, augmented reality is there, holographic technology is already there. Okay, okay. Can I have the classroom where we are actually virtual, but we feel like we are in a classroom, but instead of our physical body, it's our holograms. So I have an experience on offline class, but actually I'm sitting at my home. Is that kind of a technology available by 2025? You know what? Everything is possible. Okay. That solution comes into mind only the moment we start understanding the pattern of the history, and then we know the signals, that what are the signals. All I have to do is sometimes connecting dots, and I can come up with the most amazing innovative ideas. Yeah. So that's so I always say this. So unthink the way you do things and rethink everything. Okay. So thank you very much. Now I'm stopping the presentation, and I'm coming back, and I'm open to questions, and then we'll talk more about how. Hold on, how do I stop my? Just give me 1 second. I don't know. Stop sharing. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. Okay. Uh, as a mentor, now what is important is, as a mentor, what is important for you to help your student break, number one, break the biasness of the functional biasness. Number two, help them innovate. Make sure that they innovate. May help them imagine. Sorry, help them imagine. Inspire them to imagine crazy. Okay. Help them do the research on signals. Understand them the historical moment of changes, that how it was moved over the period of time, and finally help them connect those dots, understand human problems. Okay, if you really understand the human challenges and try to bring that convenience, mobility, accessibility points, the solution will be beautifully adapted by the people, because you know what, because number one, you have solved people's problem, you are really helping them to gain something significant. Number two, it is futuristic. Okay, and of course it is helpful, it is futuristic. And number three, it is doable, so you can execute it, because you are not something, you are not inventing, you are innovating by something which is already available. The signals are going to tell you that. Okay, does it make sense? Okay. So now I'm open to questions. As a mentor, please make sure that you don't give them the solution. Don't give them the solutions. Just make sure that you guide them and inspire them to do all these things. Okay. That is your part number one in the phase one of Imagine. Phase two, which is do phase, the teams who will reach to second phase. This is where you have to convert your idea to a prototype. You have imagined a solution, now you have to build something. Okay, make sure that you won't only build the solution but you take the solution to your end user whom you have empathized with in the phase one. You show it to the solutions, get their feedback, and iterate. Iteration is very important. Okay, it is absolutely okay for you to come up that, sir, you know what, we have changed the solution. Why? Because when we went to our users, it says it is not useful, and that is why we have changed the solutions. It's better, because what is important is, it is not whether your solution is changed. What is really important is your solution is adapted by your user, adapted by people, and it adds value to them. It drives the result, it creates the impact that you are seeking. That is important. Yeah, so make sure that whenever in the phase two, you inspire your team, inspire your students to go and validate, inspire them to go and talk to their talk to the users, the end users, the people they are innovating for. Don't rely on the Google research. Okay, please work on that part with your team, and then that's pretty much it. All you have to really make sure that they just follow the right course of action. Okay, I'm open to questions, and I hope I'm helpful. Okay. Yes, now I can take questions. Gomthi, you can come on camera and ask me questions. If anybody has questions, you can feel free to ask me now. I'm open to just raise your hand, and I'll call you.
Rohan, there are some questions in the chat box, I guess.
Okay. Sir, can you please tell me what we have to do to make project using or coding or manual project or something else? First is, in your first phase one, you are not coding nothing. All you are submitting an idea in a document. Document guideline is already been given to you. Just follow those guidelines in terms of your problem, what problem you are solving, what is the solutions, and then the questions are already given. So just put the answers in that format, and you are all good to go. Okay. Now, when it comes to on a phase two, do phase, okay, it all depends on the solution. You can convert prototype into, if it's a physical prototype, if you can able to make it good enough. If it's not, ensure that you at least have a visuals of your prototype. If you can able to code, if you have a coding background, if it's a technological, and if you can code, fair enough. We are open to all the different way you create visualization. Understand, for the do phase, it is not about working prototype. It is all about creating visuals of the idea. Okay, sometimes idea is so it might take a lot of resources, and it is may not be feasible for you to convert your idea into physical objects within 2 or 3 weeks of do. Or you can create a storyboarding and can create the visuals of an idea and make sure that journey of your user is being visualized in a proper format, so the people can able to visualize the solution. That could also work, but at least that idea which is you have in your thought, which you have put it into word, convert that word into visuals. That is your prototyping. Okay, what method, you decide what works for you. Okay, sir, we have to give a solution for one problem or only one. Okay, if your solution addresses multiple, that is fine, but it is not necessary that you have to submit three solutions. You have to solve one solutions. You can take either of the opportunity areas, either of the problem. Multiple problems are given just to have you breadth of the ideas. Okay, and you are not restricted to one, so one area should be good enough. Can anyone share the problem statements? Problem statements is already shared in a document. Just refer the group you are part of. Okay. Idea submission, are you talking only phase one? Yes, phase one is idea submission. Ideas will be evaluated idea, the evaluated idea or the winners of the phase one or the good ideas will move to phase two, and that will be do. Yes, IDS stands for imagine, do, and share. First phase is imagine. Second phase is do, where all the selected ideas will have to convert their idea into a prototype. Visuals. Okay. Amongst those idea, the phase do, again, you have to submit the prototype, and then evaluated submission or evaluated ideas or selected ideas will move to the phase three. And phase three, there will you have to do a final pitch presentation. It will be like a proper pitch. This is your final presentation. Okay. Is it okay for one team to submit more than one idea? It's okay for you to submit more than one idea, but in a phase two, only one idea will go. If you have submitted two ideas, both are good, you will be only, then one will be automatically removed and the good idea will move to phase one. So I would rather suggest that rather than focusing on multiple ideas, spend good amount of time in one idea and you will be better off. Okay. Sir, is each team must have one female member? Not necessarily. There is no rule as such. It is compulsory to have one girl in our team, as we 5 men registered as a team. There is no such rule as a one female, one male. You can have all male, all female, and mixed. It's a hackathon. It's an innovation challenge. Does not really matter. How? Rohini says how. How what, Rohini? Can you please help me elaborate? Idea can be service or a necessarily product using technology. No, it can be a service also, as long as it's an innovative ideas and solve the problem which is given in the problem challenge statement. You are good. Okay. Good evening, sir. My question is that suppose my idea and prototype is selected and I won the prize, but what after that? Should the idea be submitted for any uh, but what after that? After that, you get the prize. Now it's up to you whether you want to continue with that or you want to enjoy. It's the competition ends there. Okay. I personally suggest that if idea is good, pursue as in your entrepreneurial journey and take it further, because now you have a prize money and you have some resources, you have certain funding to shape up your idea better. Okay. Then it's up to you, Shobit. Okay. Sir, four team is allow the submission. I didn't understand a four team. What four team? It's team of four people. What about mode of imagine phase? Is there any presentation there or only submissions? Only submission. Submission guideline is given. Link will be open and where you will submit the idea. Okay. Presentation is only going to be in the final phase, which is your share phase. Okay. Phase one and phase two only submissions. Okay. Sir, I will add one more member in our group or not. That is, I will let Srivats answer. Those are the competition rules. I will only focus on the submissions and as far as the innovation is concerned.
So,
Okay. These are,
are you talking about Tanu? I will add
yes.
one.
Anu says, I will one more member in our group or not.
So, my request is we will not make any answers offhand here. Please submit your questions to the FAQ Google form that we have shared. We have even by the EOD today, we will be resolving all these queries. However, I can say that we are allowing such one-time changes. But what the exact rule is, please read out the FAQs.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Shivas. Where can we submit our idea? The link will be shared to you for submission of an idea. Just make sure that you are active and keep looking at the group and your emails. Okay. It will come, the link will come through group and in the WhatsApp group that you are part of, or the announcement is happening. And you will also get an email. Sir, a mentor also participate this by making another team. I didn't understand. You want to mentor two teams? Yes, you can mentor two teams. Sir, I have the solution. I have a solution. Or if Vidhi, I don't understand, if I'm not understanding correctly, you mean to say that you also want to be a participant in another team and you want to be a mentor in another team. I would not do this. It's logically not correct. If you want to become a mentor, be a mentor. If you want to become a participant, be a participant. Okay, being a participant in one team and being a mentor in other team, that should not be possible. Okay. Sir, I have a solution on a problem statement about climate change, but it is grand scale, need huge expenditure implementation. So is it okay for prototype of a software can be made, not hardware? Yes, as long as you create a visuals of your product or your idea, whether it's in a storyboard format, whether it's in a software format, or whether simply sketch format, does not matter. What is important is the evaluator or the judge should be able to understand your solution in the visual format better and absolute clear. The user journey should be communicated very clearly. Okay. Can anyone kindly again share the problem statements? We have joined late in the group. Uh,
No, no issue at all. We have formed a WhatsApp group. If you look at the description of the WhatsApp group, there are two links in the description of the WhatsApp group, where one is the link for the FAQ and second is the link for all the documents for the problem, all the problem statement, the challenge submission guidelines, everything is there. So not to worry at all. Even if you have joined any group, just go to the description of the WhatsApp group. You will find the links to these folders.
right. You have the answer, guys. Sir, total how many challenges have been provided? One challenge have a multiple problem statements. You can select one of the problem statement and continue and solve that. Okay, what are the criteria on which you will be evaluating the idea and the imagined phase? Again, it is written on the document. Just read the document carefully. Okay, is one mentor is allowed to only one team, or one mentor can applicable for 3 or 4 teams? One mentor can mentor to multiple teams. That's not a problem as long as you don't get exhausted, because it's an exhausting task. Okay.
Uh, let
Sir, what daily habits help us make our thinking better? Wake up early in the morning and work hard. All right. Just kidding. Just practice your creativity every day and you will be good. All right. Uh, Good evening, sir. Is it compulsory to have a mentor? It is not compulsory, but it is highly recommended, guys. Mentor always gives a, guru ka haath hamesha acha rehta hai. You always need to have someone. Okay, because he breaks our thought. He breaks. He sometimes we think in a very different way. We need someone who can challenge us. We need someone who can read out our thought process. So it is highly recommended, guys. How many teams are guided by mentor? As long as what mentor can able to manage. Okay, there is no such rule, right? How can we change one member of our team?
I've
Put it.
answered that.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. I have answered that question. In terms of changing team members, we are coming out with a solution. I understand, for example, there are a two-member team and suddenly one member has backed out and the other member is in a challenge. So we are looking at that. We will come out with that FAQ and you can refer that. But we are giving some offhand. I can tell you that we are giving some leeway only in this stage. And please be prepared, no leeway or any benefit will be given from the next stage. For this stage, we are considering the request and then accordingly giving out the guidelines.
All right. Thanks, Srivats. Is mentors necessary for each team? I've already answered that. Mentor can be anyone, right? Or does he have to be a university student? No, it can be anyone as long as it adds value to the idea. Okay. It could be your teacher, it could be your friend who has worked in it, it could be your someone you know who has the good understanding of the problem or subject matter experts. As long as you think you are confident that he can add value to our idea, he can be your mentor, no problem. How do we select our mentor? As I just said, select your mentor based on their experience, based on their how he guides you. You may be your university teacher, could be your mentor, maybe someone whom you know who has a in the expertise, somebody who in the industry you might know who has an understanding of this and who can add value to your idea, could be your mentor. Sir, is it important to show our ideas with a physical format? I've answered this multiple times in the format, so I'm not going to answer it again. What if the solution of two teams will be the same or the same problem statement? Okay.
That's a
It's a evaluation. If this and let me tell you, I have in the likelihood of that is almost nil. We have more than 5,000 submissions here last year, and none of the solutions were same. So don't worry about that. That is judge's problem, not yours. Okay, or maybe Shiva, you might have a different
Yeah,
answer.
exactly. You just heard my thought. It's
Yeah.
our challenge. We will deal with it. But like he said, we were also surprised to see the enormity and the variety of ideas that's coming. So leave it to us. We will do it.
Okay. Okay. Is it necessary to use IoT or any other technology implementing ideas? No, you can use whatever I just talked about. Okay, use the signals. Signals can always help you. If you think that is a signal for you, use it, no problem. Sir, how to find a mentor? As I just answered that. How do I motivate students in the situation of exam to work on this given challenges? You need to, Dr. Prajakta Kanetkar, first of all, thank you very much, ma'am, for asking the right question. Okay. This is, I think, one of the most pressing challenge. I believe every mentor is going to be there. Okay. Try to if I have to deal with that, I will also ensure that their exams are not hindered. But I try to see if they can at least spend half an hour to a 1 hour every day on this. They should be good enough. Okay. Let's say today is a Saturday, Sunday. At least if we can send one or 2 days on this, I believe the exams will be over before that. Okay. But at least some hours in the during the day, if they can able to spare, it's going to be good enough. Really, this does not have to be and days and days long. Maybe after the exams, every one of us takes break. During the break, this could be a good fun break time. That okay, once you want to take a break from your regular studies, let's brainstorm, or I would say let's brainstorm and let's play with innovation. Okay. And playing could be a good field to freshen up our mind, right? It activates mind. So sir, is the important to show our ideas with a physical format? Asked, answered multiple times. I'm sorry. Sir, I do the mentors have to be registered somewhere for them to known as a mentor on this competition? If you have gone through the submission guidelines has a mentor details built into it. Okay, so please, I understand you are asking the questions, but it's sometimes you are you are in the journey of being an innovator. Asking questions without reading documents is not good, guys. Please go through the document carefully. Okay. Sir, I request you to please resend the idea submission links, rules, and regulations. She was just mentioned in the group. You go on a description, all the links are available. You are not dependent on anyone. Just go in a group, click on the description, links are already there. Okay. Sir, we have to innovate thing, right? We don't have to invent. What type of question are you just this? I'm really not going to answer this question because otherwise I'll start judging you, buddy. Sir, how many ideas can I submit? You can submit as much and many ideas as you want to submit. Only one idea will go to the next phase. Okay. I would highly recommend that you only work on one
Focus.
idea. Whatever the idea, focus and do good with that idea. Be detailed with that idea rather than doing multiple things. Okay. Focus one thing. I always believe one thing, one mission, one goal, one heart, and one effort. That will give you a winning outcome. Right. I think I have answered almost all the questions. Uh, uh,
All
go
right.
keep raising your hands if you have any questions. I'm not too sure, but
Gomti, do you want to ask something, Gomti? Then Tushar, can we just unmute for Gomti?
Yeah, yeah, I've already unmuted her.
Thank you. Gomti, you want to ask? Please go ahead. We can see your hands raised. All right. Anyone else? You want to just come forward and ask? You can ask. We will unmute you so that you can ask your question. All right. Okay, Malti. Malti, go ahead. Go ahead and ask the question if you want. Good evening, sir. I'm a mentor. Can I also participate?
no, if you're a mentor, be a mentor. If you want to participate, just participate.
Yeah,
It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, Malti, go ahead and please ask your question. You are already unmuted.
Malti, can you go ahead and ask the question? All right, I think it would have been a thing. All right, so any last thought you want to leave, Rohan? Maybe it's a combination of mentors and the students.
No, I'm pretty sure that you all are excited. Just drive the team in
Yeah, I
the.
think Gumti, you want to ask something? I saw you on mute. All right, I think Tushar, you can close it.
Okay, so I think all the best, everyone, and I'm sure that you will do wonderful, uh, and uh, and you will do wonderful. Just as I mentioned, guide them to break their thought, play a devil's advocate sometime. Okay, ask them question why. Make sure that they do the field research. They don't rely upon Google. So don't just make sure and they talk to people and try to evaluate the ideas on the parameters which I've talked. And I think and one of the things, yes, very important. You are a mentor. You know what is the importance of submission. Sometimes when we get an idea, when we evaluate the ideas, the documentation is so poor. Okay, at least go through the documentation as a mentor and make sure that it has that quality when they submit the documentation in terms of formatting, in terms of language, in terms of detailing. Okay, sometimes documentation quality is so poor. Okay, it it really becomes very challenging for us to even understand, because the idea is so vague. There is no details. Please make sure that question answers and guidelines are followed. As a mentor also, you go through the guideline, and when they submit, before they submit, I'm sure that they will show it to you. You evaluate them, that what, you have followed the guidelines properly. So at least do that. That really, the quality also matters when they submit the ideas, right? So I think those are the few things, as a mentor, you can follow. But other than this, all the very best, and feel free to ask us any questions. Srivats, we are always there to help you. All we want to make sure that you innovate, and we also want to make sure that we give all the possible resource to you guys. So we want the best of the innovations to come out. So keep innovating and keep be happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rohan. Thank you for taking time out and sharing your ideas and views, and encouraging students to take up this initiative. Like we've been saying from the beginning, it is our endeavor to create an ecosystem for innovation across the country, and you as mentors now are going to play a significant role in ensuring and in achieving that objective. I was just, listening to the conversation between Prime Minister Modi and Bill Gates yesterday, and I would encourage all of you to please take a look at it. It's all about innovation and how can you democratize technology through innovation. There is an innovation huge fund that has been set up by the government. But that said, what he said is ultimately we need to have innovation to ensure that technology is not used as a mechanism for helping you manage your laziness or helping you not work. It has to be a tool used for advancing yourself. How can you be more productive, and how can society at large, benefit from this? So on that thought, wish you all the very best. We're looking forward for great ideas to come in, and we're also looking forward for taking those ideas and bringing it to the right set of people and see where it can take for a bright future for mankind. Thank you all. Wish you all a very happy weekend. Happy innovation. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone. Thanks, Srivats.